Hello, everyone. I wanted to give you all an update because at the Westside Dems holiday party today, I was able to talk to District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who, as we all know, has not prosecuted all of the people that we think he should have. So basically, I confronted him and I said, I supported you last time, I canvassed for you, but I need to know, why did you not prosecute all of these people who broke in at Colombia, who are antisemites, and with these attacks? Why didn't you prosecute them? And he gave me a number of answers. Firstly, what he said is, they treated different groups differently. So he said the students they treated less harshly because they wanted the school to deal with it. For the people who weren't affiliated, he treated those harder. So the 15 people that were prosecuted, I believe, were mostly people from outside the school. But the key thing he said is that next time he wouldn't do that. He said next time he would make that judgment call differently because clearly the school didn't do anything. But he said it's hard to prosecute because they were all wearing masks, and he would be in favor of reinstating some form of a mask ban, which is basically called the KKK law because the KKK used to use masks to intimidate people. And I was saying, but why didn't you prosecute these other people, the students also? He said the other thing was, he said there wasn't enough evidence. He said they covered up the cameras and they were all wearing masks. He said if it had just been me and a few other people, that would have been easy. But I said, but doesn't that essentially mean that if I was to get a bunch of people in and break into a building, that then I can do whatever I want with impunity? And he said, well, no, because we can even see based on your outfit and your shoes and based on the GPS on your phone who you are. I said, but then once again, why didn't you prosecute? So he said next time they would make a different judgment call potentially. And he said they talked to all the Hillels and the Chabads and to some of the other groups and said, we are going to do this differently. But I said, you need to publicize that, because even publicizing that you saying that there's going to be consequences, that means that there's more of a deterrence. So I said I would email. He said, email me and I will email him. But the second thing was about the attacks. I said, why are you not prosecuting attacks? People in my group have been attacked. And he said, well, there is a hate crimes number you can call. But if not, he gave me his email. So I'm going to reach out to people here in the group who have been assaulted and where the people have not been prosecuted. Please let me know, and I will send it to Bragg and say, why were you not prosecuting these cases? But he did mention the one that they did prosecute, which was a big one, was the one where there was the guy in the subway who was yelling, Zionists get off. He said they did try to prosecute that one, and he said it was more intimidation because it was in a train car. And even though the door was open, it was still, he thought that was one that could win. And so they went to the judge, and the judge dismissed that case, or he dismissed that charge, and said instead they would continue on with a misdemeanor for not disturbing the peace, but something along those lines. But he said they thought they could have won that one, but he said it's a free speech issue. Also, he said, in the park, if someone's yelling globalize the Intifada, that's not as much of intimidation versus if it's in an enclosed space. And I said, well, what if someone was yelling, I want to kill black people? He said, we've had many of those cases also, and it's the same thing. I think they need to do more. And now that I have his email, we can hold him more accountable. We need to call his office more. But then I actually talked to one of the judges at the club also, who was there because she's running for election. She said that they can't judge if the cases aren't brought. So she said even, he's making judgment calls of which cases to bring based on what evidence they think they have, but also on the strength of the case. And she said if they don't bring it, we can't judge it. So we need to make sure that we call them and tell them, even if you don't think you can necessarily win, you need to bring these cases. You need to put in the resources to make sure that these cases are brought. So that was very important. But the thing is he is the only candidate running, so he is most likely going to be the next district attorney. But now that I have his email and we have now I've built this relationship in the sense if he knows who I am, we can continue to hold him accountable, and hopefully things will be better. And we need to publicize what he said, once again, that they are going to be harder in prosecuting this, and hopefully that deterrence will help. So once again, if you were attacked, or if you are attacked, God forbid, please let me know. If they first obviously call the hotline, but if nothing happens, let me know and I'll talk to him. Thank you all.